Hey everyone. Please support what I do to help keep Greyhawk alive by subscribing to the channel. Also, please consider becoming a channel member to get early access to videos, exclusive live chats, quarterly adventure modules, and more. Thanks, and enjoy the show. So now that Trollord Games is bringing back Yggsburgh, the setting for its Castle Zagig, which hopefully is coming soon, I thought it'd be fun to do a review of Yggsburgh today on Greyhawk. So, as mentioned, Trollord Games, as I'm sure you've heard, and I covered briefly on the channel a couple weeks ago, is bringing back something that fans have wanted for a long, long time. It is Yggsburgh, the campaign setting, and eventually Castle Zagig, which is Gary's Gary's opus. Um, uh, Dedicated to bringing his dungeon, his mega dungeon, to the fans. So, but the first part of it is Castle Zagig is Yggsburgh, the campaign setting, and I have here the 2005 edition. They're coming out with a new one. I'm not sure if there's any substantive changes. I don't think so. I know there's you can, if you get it on the Trollord site, and I'll put a link below. You get a PDF copy, which is nice. There's also PDF right now available on drive through, and you can pre-order the hard copy of the new edition. But this thing is massive. It's 256 pages. It's got at least the hardcover does. You can see it's got a map here that folds out. It folds out. I haven't removed it from the book, but it's this enormous poster map. And it is really, really detailed in terms of being a fantasy setting. Now, bear in mind that Yggsburgh, the city, is supposed to be analogous to the free city of Greyhawk. You know, we all know it. Um, and the setting book goes through a bunch of stuff around of the environs, the different towns and valleys and forests and things that are in around the city, and goes into some detail on the city. It gives a bunch of the prominent NPCs. It gives like taverns and those prominent PCs' homes. Gives descriptions of all that stuff. There's a thieves guild, obviously. There's a beggars brotherhood that will sound very familiar to anybody who's read Saga of Old City. Um, it's got a lot of callbacks like that. There are sections on new rules. There's a section. It's written for the Trollord Games Castles and Crusades system, but it's pretty much usable with most versions of D&D, especially AD&D or third edition. It should work fine with stuff like that, with a little bit of tweaking here and there, because the rules scale the same. And so you can use the encounters for Castles and Crusades and in various adventures in this book pretty much as is when using the D&D rules. There's new magic items and spells and monsters and all that good stuff that you would expect. But what really gets me on this is the level of detail that they put into not only the town but the environs around the town. It gives you the architectural style. Um, uh, almost everybody has of the high level NPCs has their coat of arms given, and um, orders of knighthood, and just there's all kinds of of crazy level detail um that's in here. Now, one of the interesting things, like when you come to the temple, it doesn't give the names of the deities. It lets the DM or castle keeper fill in those kinds of details, which is kind of an odd choice to make. I mean, I know why he did it this way, but if you're going to give names to towns and NPCs and stuff, you might as well go all the way and not stop at the very edge of giving the deities. And I know that's how he did it in the original folio for the World of Greyhawk, and later on had to kind of backfill in all the gods. Started in Dragon Magazine and was done in the gold box. So I don't, if it was me as a design choice, I probably would have made up a new pantheon and have at it. It would have been inevitable anyway at some point. So go with that. Of course, one reason to leave these things open is that if you wanted to port this into your own campaign, like if you wanted to use this for your city of Greyhawk in a World of Greyhawk campaign, hypothetically speaking, this way you can kind of fill in with deity from Greyhawk that you wanted to put in there. So, there are, I understand why you did it. I just probably would have gone and done it anyway. But it's just, you get a lot of detail, and in some way, that level of detail is a failing because there's a lot to absorb here, and a lot of the information on a particular place can be found in like three or four different places in the book, and there's no index, so you really have to read it carefully and kind of combine things from different places in order to get a complete picture of what's going on in a place. So, in that sense, it could have stood a little more reorganization, but that said, what this reminds me of most of all are some of the very early Judges Guild products, the City State of the World Emperor and City State of the Invincible Overlord. Imagine those, but with more detail, uh, which is kind of crazy. It's just there's so much in here. I can't even go through a little bit of it. There's a bunch of different inns that are covered because mainly the focus in this book, when it comes to the city of Yggsburgh itself, is on places that adventurers are likely to need. So it's money changers and inns and taverns and hotels and things like that that you would naturally assume they're going to go to. There's markets and weaponsmiths and stuff like that. And but the majority of the book really isn't about the town. The majority of the book is really about the whole area around the town with all these. It's got tons of adventure, little mini adventures that are set in the wilderness around the town, and very interesting descriptions of the valleys and the hills and forests and such. So it's really good in that sense. There are maps. Obviously, I showed you the wilderness map. The map of the town itself and the surrounding and the nearby, for example, this map here, Garum, if you look at it, the maps are a little simplistic and a little too straight liney for me. I think they would have turned out better if they'd been done a little rougher, um, not in terms of the map style itself, but in terms of the layout of the streets and the buildings and so forth. There's just it would feel more organic if it wasn't such a perfect grid of streets. It's just a personal peeve of mine. There are a lot of interesting places in the town. Like I said, one in particular is the Outs Inn, which is very heavily detailed and is almost reminiscent of the Inn of the Welcome Wench in Hamlet. Now, they did release later on a number of city modules, and I don't think it covered the whole thing. I've got three of the four here. I for some reason I thought I had the east corner, and I don't, so I want one now. Oh no, my collection is incomplete. I need a copy. Um, but these were done by different people. This one was Jeff Talanian, Don McVitie, and Jeff Talanian again. Um, so these cover the city itself in exhausting detail. I mean, it gives every single building as a complete statted out description. It is incredible. For a cabinet maker, it gives it's got a whole paragraph here, tells you uh, uh, what his alignment is, and if he has any special abilities. I mean, it's crazy the level of detail that they throw in here. And again, that could be a bit daunting at first, but once you've read it through a couple of times as a DM, you should get the hang of it. So that is what we got for this part. I'm not going to go through Castle Zagig. I'll give that its own video at some point. So, and there's another book too, which again I don't have and now must possess, which gives more detail on the environs, around the town. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Link again will be down below if you want to pick this up. I highly recommend it because the more of these that get sold and pre-sold right now, the higher the probability that the estate is going to allow Troll Lord Games to continue publishing both the stuff that was previously published by Gary and new stuff. So that is, that's the goal. We want to really support this so that we can keep getting more of it and indeed go further. So anyway, hope you like this one. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.